Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another Transformers Siege War for Cybertron review. In today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the newly released Deluxe class Decepticon Barricade. As always, we'll take a very quick look at the packaging. As you can see, we have got yet again another fantastic piece of artwork for the Siege figures of Barricade, actually holding the weapon that this figure does in fact come with. On the front of the packaging, we do have Barricade, Transformers Siege War for Cybertron, and then the side of the packaging has that same piece of artwork that is across the board for all of the Siege figures. If you turn around now to the back, we do have an image of the figure in both the robot mode as well as his vehicle mode, and some cross-promotion sales and how they can actually be incorporated onto the figure. Now, before I begin this review, this figure is essentially the Deluxe class Prowl with a brand new head sculpt and a brand new paint deco. However, it does incorporate some other elements from different figures, such as the Deluxe Blue Streak, which was also based on Deluxe Prowl. Most noticeably, it does in fact take the weapons that Blue Streak did come with, and it also comes with the light bar that Prowl also came with. So essentially, this is an amalgamation of both of those figures with a brand new head sculpt and a brand new paint deco. And here we have the Transformers Siege Deluxe class Barricade as he comes packaged in his robot mode. Now, when I first found out that Barricade was going to be released in the Transformers Siege toy line, I was initially really excited, as we don't tend to get many Barricade figures unless they're from the Michael Bay universe. This figure's announcement, however, was slightly tarnished by the fact that this figure would be in fact a repaint of Deluxe Siege Prowl. However, considering they are both police-esque type of vehicles, I guess that was inevitable. But actually owning the figure, I have got to say that I am exceptionally impressed with how Hasbro have managed the paint scheme for this figure, and the head sculpt definitely more than makes up for it, making this figure different enough that it actually looks like a brand new figure. Taking a detailed look at Barricade's head sculpt, as you can see, he does in fact have some really nicely red painted eyes, and I think that they've applied the gold paint app really nicely to the main face. We've also got a purplish tint to this spike section for the crest of the head sculpt, where the rest of the head is in fact cast in a black plastic, which does in fact have some nice sculpted in detailing. Where an Autobot insignia would be is obviously now replaced with a Decepticon insignia. I really like the Siege battle damage on this figure, as to me it looks as if though the vehicle mode has been weathered during battle, which I definitely think would have been something that would have occurred if this figure was roaming around the war-torn streets of Cybertron. Much like Prowl, this figure does in fact have Cybertronian hieroglyphs on the side of his vehicle mode, and for the arms, the figure's arms have been cast in a really nice light purple colour. Turning to the torso, we still yet again have that nice purple colour with a yellow paint app where the crutch section would be. However, the shins, once again, much like Prowl and Blue Streak, is really where the paint shines for me, as the vibrant, very electric type of blue plastic presents itself really nicely with this release. And once again, they have in fact painted the underlayer with a silver paint app in order to make the detailing pop to a degree where it really captures you visually. The side of this has also been done really nicely, and the base of the foot has also been cast in a black plastic with a transparent purple plastic applied to the tyre section of the wheel. So overall, in terms of paint apps and detailing, this figure is actually really nicely done. However, I've got to say my favourite part is definitely these shin sections. Now, the only weapons that he really comes with are these weapons that Deluxe Blue Streak came with. Now, if you watched my Blue Streak review, I didn't in fact show how you could actually combine them, just as I didn't necessarily know that it was a thing you could do. But as you can see, the weapons do in fact combine, and you can make out detailing such as the ammunition clips on either side. You can in fact unpeg them and have them as separate pistols, or much like Blue Streak, you can in fact plug them into the top sections of Barricade's shoulders to make it look as if though he's got some firepower on the shoulders. However, this positioning is more aimed for the vehicle mode. Articulation is exactly the same as both Prowl and Blue Streak, so I won't delve much into that, nor will I necessarily be going into too much detailing of the transformation, as I have already showed that twice before. Now, for a comparison between Barricade as well as his mold mates, Blue Streak and Prowl, personally, I think still that Blue Streak is my favourite out of the three, whilst Barricade is definitely far superior in terms of paint deco than the very bland, boring Prowl. I still don't think that he matches up to the premium look of Blue Streak, but nevertheless, he is still a nice repaint and repurpose of the mould, and I think that the head sculpt really does help to set him apart. I think he looks drastically different when compared to Prowl, as he has a completely different paint deco. Black is very contrasting compared to the white colour of Prowl, so I think that these two definitely look very different. I don't necessarily think that Blue Streak and Barricade look too different, as their colours are rather dark in design, but nevertheless it is still a nice repaint, and I'm glad that we have Barricade in the Siege toy line. And here we have Barricade in his very awesome looking police car alt form. Now, as I stated, this is exactly the same as both the Prowl and Blue Streak alt form, so there are no mold changes to this whatsoever. But what really pops for me is the brand new paint deco. As you saw in robot mode, I really like the weathering effect on either side of the vehicle mode's front section, with the Decepticon insignia and these metallic blue sections for the headlights. As you can see, this is where the guns plug in for the vehicle mode, and much like Blue Streak, I actually really like this, as to me it gives a essence of a stealth mode that I could definitely see Barricade obtaining within Cybertron. This transparent clear piece of purple plastic with the silver paint underneath really pops in vehicle mode. As you can see, the front windscreen does in fact have it, and what were the shins in robot mode really look nice here when you bring these two halves together. Another transparent piece of purple plastic is the wheel sections of the vehicle. I actually really like this, and this was one of my favourite attributes of the Deluxe Prowl figure, so it is great to see it carrying over here for Barricade. You've got the Cybertronian hieroglyphs, which I guess would say police, I'm not entirely sure, but that does seem fitting for the character, and you do have the transparent clear purple plastic for the light bar at the top. So overall, for a vehicle mode, it does look really nice. Something worth mentioning is the only area that I've noticed some mold degradation is actually in the tyres. As you can see, this one does roll fairly smoothly, whereas this one is exceptionally stiff. It really doesn't like to move too freely whatsoever, and the wheels just feel different from the other figures, meaning that he doesn't roll nowhere nearly as smoothly as some of the other figures from this toy line. So that is my review on the Transformers Siege Deluxe Class Barricade. Personally, I do think that this is a nice repaint and repurpose of the Deluxe Prowl mold. However, he is definitely the weakest out of the new Deluxe figures, considering that he is essentially just a repaint with a brand new head sculpt. The figure does look fairly nice, and I do think that the new paint apps definitely help set him apart from the other variations of this mold. The head sculpt is definitely very Barricade in its design, and I do like that he does in fact come with the two pistols that Blue Streak did come with, as it does help to set him apart from some of the other figures in the Siege toy line. It is great to see that there is no mold degradation in terms of the joints in robot mode. However, the wheels are definitely a lot stiffer and a lot more tighter than they were with Prowl and Blue Streak, so that is definitely something to know. Personally, if you are collecting the Siege toy line, then you have to get Barricade in order to build the Decepticon cast. However, personally, I do think that he is going to be the shelf warmer out of the new 3 figures that are out, just seeing as he is the most boring in terms of new elements. I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, please let me know down in the comment section below, and be sure to stay tuned for my other Transformers Siege reviews. Thanks for watching.